Yeah, it's gonna be a long time until the Fox makes that noise, but for now we're just gonna keep on working. What's up guys, welcome back to another video, and today we are working back on the Fox. Now in the last video we got a bit of a downer. The front fork was rusted and we couldn't really use it. So what I did, I posted a picture of the Fox on Facebook asking for people for a front fork, and one person replied and we got this fork. Look at this. This is one beefy ass fork and it works. It is in good condition, but of course it wouldn't be a build of mine with some problems. I'm gonna address the problems as they come, but this is not a standard fork for a Fox. This is not plug and play. You cannot put this on your bike and start riding immediately. We're gonna have a lot of work, first of all fitting it on the bike, and second of all putting the wheel on there and connecting the brake, because yeah, nothing is aligned, nothing matches, nothing does. I mean, from all the forks that we could buy or could get, we got the difficult one. So yeah, but that is gonna make the bike unique, so I don't care. It's gonna be more fun when we show up with this fork on the bike instead of a standard fork that everyone can buy. So the bike is gonna be more uniquer, and yeah, that's also funner for me. Now I won't be able to put the fork on the frame in its complete form. I have to machine parts, buy parts, weld parts, design parts, because the brake, yeah, that's gonna be a problem. I'm gonna do the preparations. I'm gonna work on the triple tree, try to get that on there, see if it all fits, if it all aligns, because at this point we can still do whatever. We can change the fork still out, but I like this fork. I want to use it. It looks nice. It's got some wear and tear on there, but we can clean it up. That is not really a problem. It's gonna look nice. We're gonna put this on. We're gonna have a lot of fun. It is also a hefty fork, but that is gonna help us when we accelerate so we don't pop any wheelies. So yeah, it's gonna be all great. Just kidding guys, we don't know if we're gonna pop wheelies. The bike doesn't even run yet, so how can I talk about wheelies? So yeah, let's just get into it, because this is gonna be a little nightmare for me. It's gonna be fun for you guys to see the end project, but for me it's gonna be a little bit of a nightmare. So yeah, let's just get started and get on with it. I think I'm gonna call the bike Frankie, because it is a Frankenstein monster. Every single part is gonna be custom on this bike. And it's a headache for sure. I mean, the things that I'm gonna have to do to get this bike rolling, running, starting, whatever, it is gonna be absolutely a headache. We got the forks on. It looks good, but there is some stuff missing on it. I can't completely assemble the forks because something is wrong with it. And let me show you what I'm gonna have to do to get this bike rolling. But first of all, yeah, it looks so good. The bike looks absolutely perfect with the forks. I mean, they are beefy, they are nice, like the tubes right here are so beautiful. And it starts to work with the bike. I mean, it looks pretty good. What do you guys think? Is it a win or is it a fail? I think it's definitely a win. Now let me show you what everything is wrong and what I'm gonna have to custom build to make this forks work. First of all, the seller didn't include this part. This is what screws on onto this tube right here on the inside of the fork to compress the bearings and make them run smooth. Now he didn't include this. This is from the old fork. Now you can say, why wouldn't you put that on there? I'm gonna show you the next problem already. When I take this nut off, I don't have a lot of space. Keep in mind this has to go in between there, so I'm a little bit short. Now this nut, I can't really fit it on there, but it is smaller. Let me check on the old fork. The threads on the old fork are 25s, and on this fork it is 26. Of course, why wouldn't it be? So I'm gonna have to order this whole set, like this nut and the bottom one, the cups and the bearings, because it's a complete set, and I already found it, so it's not a big problem. I think it's about 7 euros or what, so not really expensive. Okay, imagine we got the part. We got the nut on there, yay! Wait a minute, the tube is a little bit too short. Now it's gonna be even shorter with that nut on there. So I'm gonna have to make this smaller. Oh, that is gonna be fun. Now I don't want to take off the top because we're gonna have to weld the tube on there, and I want a little bit of meat right here to weld on, so I'm not gonna grind that down. I think I have 5 mils left to grind down. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grind down the bottom part. I think it's gonna be like 5 mils already, so that should compensate for the nut that is going on there. Of course, the fork stoppers, or yeah, so this part doesn't slam into your tank, is gonna have to go because I don't have a lot of space underneath there. So I'm gonna have to grind that away, fit the forks, and make my own steering stopper so we don't slam our forks into the tank. Yay! Imagine we all did that and the 333 is on there. Time to assemble the wheel. Oh, one big problem right there. The Peugeot uses a different style mounting points for the wheel to the fork, so we cannot use that. This fork uses a slide-in axle, so it means it goes in there, there are bearings in here, and then you can assemble your fork. Now this rim doesn't have that. This rim uses a style like this with a screw on, and yeah, you know the whole deal right here. We're gonna address that in a whole nother video once we get there. So I can't use that. Now me and the Shade, when he dropped off the fork yesterday, we noticed this problem and we were thinking, how are we gonna do that? Should we grind in slots on the bottom side and put the forks in like that? Could work, but taking a sharp turn, force comes into here. The wheel could slide out of there. Not really sure about that. Could weld some supports right here for the nut, but it's aluminum. I don't have an aluminum welder, so yeah. And then my mind went back to my 16-year-old self and I started thinking about bike builders and whatever. And I remember on American Chopper, they have the whole frame set up like this, and they slide in these tubes with the 333 already on there. So I was thinking about that when I was gonna do that, and I thought of, hey, I could mount the wheel on the forks and then slide them in there. So that fixes the whole problem that we cannot mount the wheel in there. So after that I thought, yeah, we got a way to mount the wheel. That's what's yesterday. Today I come into the shop, took the axle out. Where is the axle? Right here. And I put it right beside the original axle. Uh-oh. What's this? it's a little bit longer. And if you look closely, yeah, you cannot really see it, but it's a little bit thicker, the original axle. When we check this one, it's like 11. When we check this one, it is 12. Okay, another problem. The axle is smaller. Now, it could work if we put it in there. It's like 1 millimeter of play. So yeah, it could work. It's all pushed together. So it's, yeah, I was confident about that. Now, because the axle is too short, I measured the minimum distance that I had to have, and it was 19, and I don't know how big that original axle is. I'm not gonna measure it, but it's certainly smaller, so it wouldn't work with the original axle. Okay, let's order a longer axle. The minimum length I need is like 19 or whatever, don't quote me on that. I looked online and I found a lot of axles, and there were 11s on there, but they are all 18, so again, a little bit too small. But the axle that I found is 21 centimeters long. So plenty of room to mount it on the forks, no problem. It's the same style of the original axle, so that could work. The problem with that axle is that it is a 12 millimeter axle, so a little bit bigger. It fits in the fork and it will fit in the wheel, but it won't fit through the brake. Now I'm talking about this hole in the brake. This is a 11 mil hole, but we can drill that out, no problem. So we got an axle, it can mount on there, we know how to mount it or whatever. Maybe some of you saw it already, this right here. Normally this should slide into here, and then this is locked in so it doesn't spin around, so you have brakes. Problems, problems, problems. This fork is gonna be a nightmare. But of course, you wouldn't be watching if I didn't already have a solution for that. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make a plate. A plate with a hole and something like this, that it slides into here. So the plate will slide into here, between here, and the axle, so it will be sturdy. Once the wheel is clamped down, it will be in there. Then I'm gonna take my welder and I can weld a metal tab or something like this inside of here, so the brake will be locked up and we will have brakes. Now let's take a last look at the bike. I'm gonna disassemble it, put it in storage until we get the parts. Of course, in the next video I'm gonna have to do some other stuff. I'm thinking about working a little bit on the engine, get it all ready for mock-up, not completely assembled it, but put the cylinder on here to get an idea from here, maybe start on the intake, and after that we should have the parts for the fork and for the wheel and the tires as well. So if you like this build, check the link in the description down below. The playlist for this bike will be in the description down below, so you can see everything from start to finish, progress that we made and the steps back that we made with the problems that we created. And if you follow along, you will see the complete build when the bike starts, runs, rides and other events that we're gonna do with this bike. So that is gonna be it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter and on Instagram. And if you're not already subscribed yet, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one.